Hey guys, it's Nuka here, and I am here to talk about my first initial impressions on the premiere episode of Majimuri Gakuen. I watched the live stream of it today, and I am going to give my raw first reaction onto what I saw in this episode. So, this was something that I have been very excited for ever since it got announced. I really like the Majiska Gakuen series, and so I was very excited to see kind of this soft reboot, I guess is what it is, of going from Majiska to Majimuri, moving to a completely different setting, environment, new characters, new situations, and honestly, this is a solid first episode. I was definitely not disappointed of what I have gotten in this first episode. It's really good. It gave me kind of a similar feeling to how I felt when I watched the original Majiska Gakuen. When I watched the first episode of season 1, it's kind of that similar feeling. I'm feeling like I'm reliving this sort of, it's in a new shape now, but it's definitely this same sort of intrigue and curiosity for what could be going on further on down the line. So, starting off, we have actually opening narration from Hina, who is played by Okabe Rin. She actually provides narration a lot throughout this episode, so she is clearly a focal character of the three Hanagumi members of Hina, Bara, and Sumire. Bara being Mukaichi Mion and Sumire being Kurano Narumi. So yeah, it definitely seems like of the three, Rin is probably going to get a lot of development because she seems to be playing a very focal part in this drama. And a lot of it talks about the city in which they live in and the school that they go to. Apparently, in this particular city that they're in, a lot of, I guess, there are a lot of places that are owned by the Gosaki Corporation. So there's like literally G logos on almost everything in the city, which is very interesting. And also for the school, even though in this first episode it's established that Kaiser had just began her reign as the student council, it's clear that there was still a pretty large segregation between the commoner students and then also the special chosen students. Like, you know, the students, they couldn't walk down the hall together. The commoners had to literally walk up against the wall while other people could just walk on the empty space in between all of them. And yes, this is a co-ed school, so there are a lot of male students also, not just, it's not like Majiska where we got all female students and our primary focus was on the AKB members, but we have several male characters too, which I think is very, very interesting. And also, speaking of Kaiser, when she gave her opening speech and we see the student council for the first time, holy crap, they are intimidating. Kaiser herself, or Gosaki Aran is her real name. Apparently her father is one of the company, I think he's the owner of the Gosaki company, which makes sense, which I guess is why she got her special position as the student council president. But it's very clear from just I guess her aura is what you would say. She does seem to have this really powerful aura to her. So I'm looking forward to her eventual face-off with the main characters. I think it's going to be a very intimidating battle. Even just with the other members of the council, they all give off this really frightening, intimidating aura about them, and when you see them just saluting Kaiser like this, that's just really good in establishing just how much of a presence these people, especially Kaiser herself, really has over the rest of the school, and her first order being, none of you are allowed to look up from the ground. So everyone has their heads down like this, and none of them are supposed to look up. Like, dang! She really is frightening in that sort of sense. And even if the students, they do have their complaints about it, they obviously cannot speak those complaints because it will get them severely punished by Kaiser and her council. And so from then on, we are then introduced to Lily, or Sayuri, who transfers into the school and is in Hina's class. And so we do get the impression that from her first impression, Hina says that she's just, a plain, boring girl. There's nothing that stands out about her. But it's clear that from what happens later on in the episode, that opinion of her definitely changes. So after school, the girls head to the cafe where they always frequent and basically blurt out all of their complaints about the new school rules and Kaiser and her council to the shop owner. And Lily, also happens to be there, so she overhears all of their conversation, and they're just like, this sucks! Like, I mean, it does. You really can't blame them. This whole segregation of the students and what they're going through being ordered around it really does suck. So you can feel for these girls. Like, this would be just a really crappy school or situation to be in. Unfortunately, though, they got overheard by one of the council members, Torai, and so they were about to get dragged off to be faced with Kaiser and I guess have purification and education, which, again, those phrases scare me to death. And so Lily approaches Torai to save the three girls and proceeds to pound all of them, and it's a really, honestly, just an amazing sequence of, for one, Yui, she's actually not that bad of an actress, even though this is her first time. It's still kind of in that awkward place where it's like, obviously she is still learning and growing as an actress, but it's honestly not that bad in my opinion. She's doing a pretty good job so far. And the fight choreography itself is very intense. I was really on the edge of my seat watching that. And let's see, something very interesting that was brought up during the fight was that Lily has this, I guess it's a point card. It's one of those cards where you can stamp in at convenience stores and like filling it in, you can get a special bonus or something. I don't know. I don't really know how those things kind of work, but I guess it's a special point coupon. I don't know, but she brings this up, like saying, have you seen this and do you know whose it is? And, obviously he doesn't know. But this seems to be very important to her, as later on in the episode we do see her kind of praying at a shrine, and then when she is looking at the card, there are a few numbers that are dotted in, but a lot of it's very like muddy. Like, this looks like something that happened like during a fight or during a rainy day, because there are like dried mud stains or something on it. And so apparently she's looking for someone, that it has something to do with this card. She's looking for the culprit for something, and I'm wondering what? because so far the most interesting thing is when Torai asked her what her name was, she said, "Everyone at my old school called me Lily." And that line in particular stood out to me. She emphasized that that was the name that people called her at her previous school. And so in my mind, I'm looking back on, the previous Majiska iterations, and I'm looking at this. The school Arashigaoka does not feel like your standard setting for a delinquent action drama. So it makes Sayuri feel even more out of place, as she's not acting or talking like anyone else in the show, especially compared to the main three, where the girls are speaking, at least they're talking like, normal teenage girls, but Sayuri is the only one who's actually talking somewhat like a delinquent. So that got me thinking, is Lily's old school Majiska Academy? That's an interesting thought, isn't it? Whether this turns out to be the case, which I think honestly it might be, but whether or not it is, this either way could be an interesting development on Lily's character. So overall, first episode of Majimuri Gakuen, I enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to see what else is to come with it. So I'm looking forward to the intense fight scenes, because there are apparently going to be quite a few of them that are really, really intense. Some more character interactions and, seeing the growth of these characters, learning more about Sayuri and her past. Maybe learning more of the council, of how they're like. Yeah, I have a lot that I am, I guess, expecting out of this, that I can't wait to see what they go for with it. So, yeah, that's about it. So, if you liked the video, or if you've seen Majimuri Gakuen episode 1 for yourself, leave a comment on what you guys thought of the first episode and what you're looking forward to in this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I am working on posting up the rest of my videos for the last quarter of my 48-day challenge. The next video should be up tomorrow morning. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!